Okay, just going to start with some gentle shaking. So, just gentle to shake the wrinkles out of your shirt, shake the wrinkles out of your energetic body. Maybe you can shake some wrinkles out of the depths of your spirit. In this body, mind, and spirit boot camp. Yeah, wherever you feel your attention wants to go, let it flow there and loosen some things up. Okay, and then into the aligning and clearing pose, always moving out from the heart center. So from the heart we're moving up, arms straight up, but also feeling things extending downwards. And as you create this straight line with your body, just allow it to release any unneeded energies, discarding them into the elements: earth, water, air, fire, and allowing them to be recycled. And then slowly transitioning, allowing the arms to slowly drop into the Egyptian Ka pose. This is where the arms go straight out at the sides, forearms straight up, the palms forward. This is connecting us to the body of levity, the body of lightness, as opposed to our physical body of gravity. It's feeling that upward flow, lightness that this brings. And then again, transitioning the arms to go straight out to the sides. So this gesture of openness and keeping the flow moving. We will now bring them in, folding them over the heart center. And you reach there just a moment, but then keeping the flow going, opening them again outward. Just really taking the time to be mindful and this flow of opening and closing. This is something that the physical heart is constantly doing, opening and closing. And so by doing this with our arms, we are repeating this on another level of being, this universal gesture of opening and closing. Just do this a few more times at your own pace, but enjoying the slowness that's so often forgotten in our fast times. Just feeling it with your energetic body, the Ka body, the etheric body, where that body starts doing the movement and your physical body follows. And then on the next sweep in, bring that to a close and a halt. Dropping the arms to the side. Continue doing that now just with the energetic body. The opening and closing using your energetic body and your imagination to continue that movement. Let's just see if you can experience the effect of that as you do that on the next level up from the physical, the next dimension. Great. We'll just move into some seated practices now. So finding yourself comfortably on a chair, on a cushion, on the floor. And I'm going to add another piece to our opening set, which is posture preparation. If you want to be a power meditator, I like to be a power meditator. You want to be able to go the long haul. So posture is important. So a couple of things, just a little routine to do. I will demonstrate it first of all, so just watch as I demonstrate, and then we will do it all together. So the first part is a pelvic tilt. So from the pelvic area, you can think of it the hip area. So just watch the tilt forward, and this isn't really necessarily like ragdoll where you drop your head down, but that's a possibility too if you want to use the weight of the head to stretch out the neck and the shoulders and relax those muscles. But this is a different practice than that. It's not so much about relaxing muscles, it's about connecting with the energetic vertical stream. So this pelvic tilt, you want to keep your back fairly straight, back and the neck all in one line. So the pelvic tilt followed by rounding the shoulders up and back to open up the heart space, the heart cavity. Very important that the central channel is open. And then third of all is a chin tuck. So it's not so much about dropping the chin, but it's actually about pulling the chin back. So if I do this sideways, this would be dropping the chin, but a chin tuck is really about pulling that chin in, and pretty much everybody needs that today with text neck, right? We call this text neck, where everybody's out like this, and that's not going to help with meditation because it's going to put a crimp in the flow of energy in your central column. So pelvic tilt, rounding the shoulders up and back, chin tuck, and then the fourth thing we'll do is just micro movements, where you actually take a moment to make very small, minuscule movements that allows the energy to move and make adjustments on its own, because the energy has intelligence. It's info energy, has information and intelligence, and it will adjust you. It'll make adjustments in your posture for you. It knows the best posture, And so by doing these micro movements, you'll find those adjustments will settle in and will hold you. Okay? All right, so let's run through that together before we settle into some meditation. Beginning with the pelvic tilt. Not slouching the back, but actually feeling from your tailbone up this thrust that will bring about the straightness that will be very helpful when you come back up into the vertical. It helps to decompress the spine. I want to watch everybody do it now. So one more time. Yeah, nice, Jeremy. You got a nice straight back there. You can relax your shoulders a bit more, Amir. Yeah. You could have your head bit down more, Julia. Yeah. Okay. And then coming back up. So the second move is rounding the shoulders up and back to open the central channel, and then the chin tuck, so you get a nice plane at the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, and then some micro movements. I call it plumb bobbing. A plumb bob is what temple builders have used for centuries. It's a string with a weight, and of course the weight will make sure that the string is exactly vertical. So if you imagine that you're kind of like a plumb bob on a string, it will eventually settle into a place that is vertical. Good. All right. Oh, somebody's got a phone that needs to be turned off. Thank you. Yeah. So, with the eyes closed, I'm just going to settle into some natural nostril breathing. Natural nostril breathing. Just feeling that air going in and out of your nostrils and enjoying the simplicity of that. Nostril breathing is much better than mouth breathing for a number of reasons. One of them being that it produces nitric oxide in your system, which helps with the expansion of arteries, for better flow of blood. And it also helps with expansion of the capillaries in the lungs. So the intake and the outtake has more expansion from the nitric oxide that you're producing right now with this simple nostril breathing. And now we're going to move into a pranayama, breath practice together. So I always like to start with an exhalation together. So breathing out, emptying the lungs, brief pause, And then inhaling through the nose. At the top of the inhalation, hold. And on the exhalation now, we're not going to do nostril breathing, but we're going to breathe out through pursed lips. Hold out for a moment at the bottom of the exhalation. Inhale through the nose. Hold at the top. Exhale through pursed lips. Exhaling through pursed lips helps to retain prana in the body while you're exhaling oxygen. Hold at the bottom. Inhale through the nose. Hold at the top. This time, do a little sniff before you exhale. It's like unlatching the hold. Hold at the bottom. Inhale through the nose. Nice big inhalation filling the lungs. Hold at the top. Little sniff and release. Pursed lips. Hold out. Inhale again through the nose. And do a few more cycles of this on your own, at your own pace. And when you get to the end of the cycle, just let that practice go. Be with natural nostril breathing, feeling the effects of that practice on your field. Bringing awareness to your heart center, center of centers. Just, if it's not clear to you where that energetic heart center is, just ask. Ask to be shown, have it highlighted where that center is within the heart envelope. Feel that center. Feel the center of that center. Just having awareness of this center in spiritual space. Going to now move into another practice where from this center in your heart envelope, moving into the front space before you. Move out from your center into the front space, just an experience of being more out in front of your physical body. And allowing your awareness to come back into the center of centers. And now moving into the backspace. Awareness out through your back. Feeling the backspace behind. It may feel like foreign territory to you, but it's part of you. Bringing awareness back to the center. Feeling yourself centered between the front and the back. And next we're going to move our awareness out from the center to the left. Just feeling the space to the left of your body. Putting your awareness there in spiritual space. Feel how this feels different. But it's your space, it's part of you, and this is your power for conscious living. Bringing awareness back to the center of centers. And then moving out through the right side. Feeling the right hand space. And how you can move your awareness around. Just feeling what you feel, enjoying this, bringing awareness back to the center, feeling yourself centered. And next we're going to move awareness up from the heart center, up through the neck, up into the head, up to the crown, continuing upward through the crown, to a place in the space above your head. Just find a place above the head where you can stabilize your awareness for a few moments. Again, it might be foreign territory to you, but it's part of your energetic column, your chakra stock. Just enjoy visiting that part of yourself. And then allowing awareness to come back down from above to the crown, into the head, down through the neck, back into the heart envelope. Just being with that center again. Perhaps it's growing stronger, more present. And then continuing to move down from the heart to the solar plexus, down to the sacral area, tailbone area, down to the root, the base of the body, and then out through the root into the column below. Again, just finding a place below the body to rest your awareness. Just be present there. Just enjoying the sensation of that. And bringing awareness up, back up to the base, up into the body, to the sacral, genital area, up into the solar plexus, and coming to the heart, center of centers again. Just being with that, breathing with that. And then once again, I'm going to move out from the center. This time we're going to move out from the center to the sphere that surrounds us. Just imagining a circle or a sphere that surrounds the physical body. Be present with that sphere. Feeling yourself in this sphere with a center to it. Every sphere has a center, every center has a sphere. And then bringing awareness back from the sphere, the center of your being in spiritual space, feeling your center, feeling how it may have grown and changed through this practice. From the center, we'll just take a moment to feel our circle. Including those in the Zoom room. From your center, feeling how you are part of a circle, part of a collective. Just sensing the others than yourself. And then bringing the awareness back to yourself. Your center of centers, your heart. The higher octave of your physical heart. Bringing the palms of your hands together before the heart as a symbol of all dualities coming into unity. This is the mudra of reverence. Just taking a moment to be in that sense of reverence and gratitude for our connection to the all, connection to each other, and first and foremost, connection to ourselves as a center. And then rubbing the palms together to create some friction, some warmth. And when they're warm, you can cup them gently over your eyes, preparing the eyes to reopen. And whenever you're ready, coming back. We are happening here. Welcome, my friends, to Body, Mind, and Spirit Bootcamp. Folks here on the Zoom, you can see how we have you all now on the big screen TV. So thanks to technology, we are one. And we are here for the benefit of you there on Zoom. AT, would you read what is on the whiteboard here?
Body plus mind plus spirit bootcamp. Live with greatness.
Ooh, I like the way you said that. Yes, and here we are for the second evening. Second of 11 evenings of Body, Mind, and Spirit Bootcamp, Living with Greatness. And that was a question we asked with the group here last week was, what is it to live with greatness? By the way, we do have some new people, so why don't we just do a quick name go round? It's because we have some new people here. So Jesse,
Julia, Sarah,
Jeremy,
Martha,
Jonah,
Amir,
Ali, Stephen,
Lindsay,
AT.
and in Zoom we've got, shout it out,
Nilu,
Calder,
Dasha,
Andrew,
Ray.
and we got Milena there muted. So yes, last week our orientation evening, introducing this idea of Body, Mind, and Spirit Bootcamp, Living with Greatness, we asked the question, what is it to live with greatness? And I hope some of you all of you have been digesting that, thinking about what came forth from all of us when we did a go-round and everybody got to express their idea around that. And some of the ideas that stuck with me was presence. To live with greatness is to live with presence, which kind of makes sense. How can you live with greatness if you're not present? I'm great, but I'm not actually here. And also to live your authentic self, to live the authentic self. And of course, this brings up questions about how to live with presence and how to live with the authentic self. And, for people, a lot of people here, some of the people here anyways, that come to these classes and whatnot, in their 20s, in their 30s, and they're feeling this sense of greatness that's there, the seed of greatness, and they're wanting to know how to unpack it, how to bring it forth. And then there's people that are older, like myself, just had a birthday on the weekend, celebrating my birth month, who, been around longer, and had experiences of greatness, but our question is how to keep it going, how to keep the greatness going. As they say in golf, one good shot does not make a game. You got to keep the good shots coming. So how to unpack our greatness, how to keep it going. This is something pointed to in one of the books that we'll be working with during the boot camp from Rudolf Steiner. How to, it's right there in the title, how to know higher worlds, how to know higher dimensions, how to connect to higher dimensions. And right on the first page of the first chapter, he says, the capacities by which we can gain insights into higher worlds lie dormant within each one of us. Capacities by which we can gain insights into higher worlds lie dormant within each one of us. Right there in the opening line, talking about something that is somewhat dormant, that's waiting. Greatness, waiting to be unpacked, unfolded. And so the how-to around that is something that will be occupying us here in the Body, Mind, and Spirit Bootcamp. And we're already into it. With the opening set, learning how to transpose our awareness to another dimension, another level. We're doing physical practices, or it seems like we're doing physical things, but we're really learning to tune in to higher levels of our being. So, with that opening meditation, to start from the center, the seed center, in spiritual space, not physical space, but in spiritual space, to put our awareness there and learn how to move around in that space, going front, going back, going left, going right, going above, going below, and then from the center out to the circumference. Any comments or questions on that practice? It's meant to challenge.
I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So I was wondering if there's anything that helps, like any tips on how to move my awareness, like when I'm visualizing, like at some points I visualized like when I was below myself or below my body. I visualized when I was coming back that I was like swimming back, and I saw myself as like a mermaid swimming back up to my feet. And like and when I was in the top, I was like, oh, am I hovering? Because I feel like I'm in my head, right? Like I feel like I'm looking out of my eyes, and so it's like, oh, what is that awareness that I'm moving? It's not my eyes awareness, which I'm so centered on. So then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like hovering above myself, and like, can I see my own head from up there? Like, can I visualize like what I would look like if I'm looking down on my head? So I'm just wondering if if there's any tips on what to visualize and to make that easier, or what one might expect to see or experience or feel, maybe not to see when they're doing that practice.
Well, we will add more visualization techniques as we go, because this opening set is something we're just starting kind of with the seed of it, but it will develop, we'll build it. So at this point, it's more about the kinesthetic, to just feel energetically moving in these different directions in spiritual space. And that is awakening, the energetic or the etheric body that can feel spatially. When we start to move into visualization, that's actually opening up a different layer of our being. So as far as
I gotcha. I understand what you're saying. The feeling part, not so much the visualizing, but the spatial awareness. Okay, I got you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So uh, the intention is that you will take up this opening set and incorporate it into your daily practice, your sadhana, as it's called in yoga, daily practice. And so 3 things: practice, practice, practice will entrain your ability. And I won't even take the time now to explain all the benefits, but there's multiple benefits from working this way, starting simple, and doing it repetitively. It will be like going to the gym and, regularly lifting weights. You'll build up. My teacher, Samuel Sagan, called it subtle bodybuilding, becoming subtle bodybuilders. So it'll strengthen and, you'll find more power. So if at this point you're going like, what's Jesse doing? Where are we? What is this about? Don't worry. As Rudolf Steiner said, every one of us has this capacity dormant within us. So it's a matter of awakening it, and you don't awaken it by throwing dynamite at it. You awaken it by gently, gradually, repetitively doing it over and over again. So you've got a very nice set here that you can incorporate into your daily sadhana. It's written out on the Google Doc, so you can access it as you will. Yes, please.
So when you say kinesthetically, are you, you say, okay, feel the space in front of you. Are we talking about just front surface of the body, or like literally the front space over here? Like, also be including other senses, like my focus was like in the front and what's coming towards me from this side, or is it just like a limited space?
Just very simple, just a sense, of moving out from your center to, seeing, like, if you want to add visual, like it's like you see that you're just in this space in front of you. And the main thing is then you feel a contrast when you move into the back. You could feel the difference. Yeah. So yay, you're feeling the difference. You're awakening that energetic intelligence to move about in inner space. Yeah, it's as simple as that. But we've all experienced this to some degree. I mean, people, when you're walking down the street or you're in line somewhere, you can feel someone standing in front of you, right? And if they moved out of the way, you would feel there's not someone standing in front of you. Or, sometimes walking down the street and you're looking at someone in front of you and they look around because from their back space, they can actually feel the energy of someone looking at them. These are things that are there, somewhat dormant, but we want to take a hold of them and cultivate them to give us power for conscious living, which is the name of the work. That's the umbrella name of the work that I do. Power for conscious living.
Many, sorry.
Continue.
Like, a suggestion on how I'm personally in my head a lot, right?
Yeah.
Class. Is it similar to meditation, just bring the awareness back to space? Because then I'm going in my head, I'm like, am I doing the right
Yeah.
to say this?
Well, if you go into your head a lot, that's there's a lot around that, but it's about becoming aware that you're in your head and returning to the practice. It's like the mind is like a dog, right? It's just sniffing around. It's like, hey, come back, sit, heel, be right here. So, we're going to talk a bit about the mind tonight and how it sits in the middle. And this is what we'll be getting into in the boot camp, renewing the mind. understanding the mind, and gaining greater mastery over the mind. How to do that. Jeremy.
One thing I noticed, so like when we're going like in and out with the arms, like I have a pretty significant injury in my shoulder, so like feeling a bit of pain when I do that, stiffness.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you were like, do it with just your energetic body, I felt like there was a little bit of stiffness there too. Maybe less pain, but like it was also kind of stiff, even though I wasn't physically moving where there's actual issues. So can I feel my physical body like doing energetic?
Yes, I want to say yes, because that's the way it works, is this energetic etheric body, it's also called the life body, is where the life is. It's where the healing forces are. It's where the formative forces are that work with the lower dimension, the dimension below that, the physical. So this is what we're going to be doing here, is to awaken these higher dimensions so there can be a trickle-down effect to benefit our physical existence and what we manifest. So that's great that you're experiencing pain. It's not great that you're experiencing pain, but that you're awakening the senses, you know, beyond the physical senses, to higher senses of what's there. Because a lot of people just are not in touch with what's happening on the higher level. So that's a step forward. Yes. Okay. Anyone else with questions or comments? The other thing I wanted to bring back from last week, you know, in terms of meditation, and a big word we learned around that. Anyone remember the word? Anyone want to explain what de-exvolution means?
To come back more into yourself and not be excluded or complicated or be external.
Exactly. Thank you, Julia. Yes. Meditation is about involution, to get more involuted, involved in our inner life. And you'll see with the meditation we do, it's active. It's been very active. It's not about just turning off the mind and zoning out, but to get involved in our inner life and to do work there. But in our modern Western entertainment universe, we're so exvoluted. We're out in our senses. It's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? We're exvoluted. So my teacher, Samuel Sagan, used to talk about how we have to de-exvolute. De-exvolute and get more involuted. So, all right, now I'm going to give you another question, as I did last week. I gave everybody the question about what is it to live with greatness. I'm going to do the same thing. Well, the first part of the question is, can you follow instructions? Because that's always interesting to see. Can people follow instructions? And this is a little social exercise. We're going to get up and you're going to pair up with somebody in the room here. And you're going to have like a minute to riff on this question. And then I'll say, switch partners, and then you'll go to another partner and do the same thing. Just stream of consciousness with the question I give you. Just let it flow, so it's not like you're saying what you already know. You want to tap into new ideas, new flow in your consciousness. And we'll do it a third time too. So you're going to have like 3 minutes with 3 different people. Good way to meet people. And for those of you in the Zoom room, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6. I'm not going to put you in breakout rooms because it's just a short thing. So everybody take, like half a minute to share on this question. And then we'll come back and we'll do a go round and hear what kind of cream rose to the top. So let's start by getting you up and paired up with somebody. Perhaps somebody you haven't connected with before, so you can meet a new human being. Wow. I have not given the question yet. Follow instructions, please. Pair up, and then I will give you the question. Now, it's always good to this exercise of following instructions, because then you will be able to follow cosmic GPS better on your own. All right. The question is, what is it to be human? What is it to be a human being? What is it to be a human being? Go, which is great, because that's what we want to do at this point, is go from our dyading, as it were, into a little circle time, and give everybody, again, just half a minute or even less to put one or two of the most crystallized, most what it feels maybe resonates as the most insightful thing that came up during the dyading. So say your name and your little share, and we'll do a circle go around that way. And let's begin with people that are in Zoom, seeing how we're there right now. So I'll just do it in order here. Dasha, why don't you
start?
Yeah.
Yes, so really quickly, for me, being human, I imagine this as a XY axis, and on the X-axis it's a constant oscillation between one extreme, our physical nature and physical existence, where we are as close to the animals as possible through instincts, through our bodily experiences. On the other end of the X-axis is our closest proximity to the divine, our divine nature, our spiritual existence. Plus, to add a different dimension, the Y-axis, we oscillate between our finite existence on the planet Earth and the moments where we are really experiencing something out of the body, our eternal soul manifesting itself. And the human experience is this very messy situation where in every given moment of time, you find yourself somewhere on this XY axis.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow. Sounds like you might have thought about this before.
I did.
Maybe you should write a book.
Maybe.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dasha. Let's move on to, let's see, Ray of Light. I'm gonna spotlight you.
So, I have all this book knowledge and stuff that I know, whatever. But when you asked me to just feel into what was present for me in the moment, stream of consciousnly, I went for a beautiful mystery, and I would say that it's like a beautiful evolving mystery. Yeah, that's what it is to be human.
Okay, that's great. It's nice and succinct, and leaves us with a nice sense of something, an evolving mystery. Right on. Okay. Moving on.
Jesse, though, you missed the beautiful part.
What?
The beautiful mystery.
Oh, a beautiful mystery.
A beautiful evolving mystery. Yeah. Beauty is very important.
Is it always beautiful, though? Ah, okay. Good. Juicy. Calder.
It is always beautiful
When it's not beautiful, it's still beautiful, right?
because there's no perfection, right? So there's no imperfection. So
Okay.
yeah, for me, what stuck out was a deep level of awareness that we have as creatures, in comparison to a lot of other creatures on this earth, right? So there's a deep intelligence that we have and a deep ability for creative expression. Those are the two big ones for me.
So put those out again. The creative intelligence, expression, and
Yeah,
intelligence.
deep intelligence and awareness, and a high level for creative expression.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought it'd be very interesting to ask AI, what is it to be human? I got a very interesting response, but a little too long to read right now.
Oh, is that what you did when
Well,
you?
just after, just waiting after I did it for fun.
Cool. Well, we're gonna go into that rabbit hole in reading the Cosmic GPS book. I've been guided
Hmm.
downloading stuff with regards to AI. So it's an important subject. We need to make conscious. We're gonna have power
Yeah.
conscious living. So stay tuned. That doesn't come until around chapter 10 or so. But thank you, Calder.
Sure.
Let's see. Next we have Nilu. Go for it.
Hello, hello. So again, I think it's a tricky question. What is it to be human? And at first I felt perhaps our ability to self-reflect and just be aware of all the experiences that we're experiencing. That would be our ability as humans that perhaps it would distinguish us. But then if I feel like if I would to describe being a human is just everything that we are experiencing and sensing and feeling and falling in the process of life, I guess that would makes us human, I think.
Okay. Okay. There's no. We're not. We're not. This isn't a test, and it's not like there's right or wrong. It's really about like riffing on this, as Ray said, big beautiful mystery. And then after the break, I'll give the answer.
Yeah, right.
Andrew.
Hey, yeah, I always feel like questions like this are like when someone asks you, what's your favorite band or what's your favorite artist? What's your favorite type of music? And it's like being human, it's not any one thing. It's multi-dimensional. So I came up with uh, the human experience is like a fractal bouquet of multi-dimensional experiences, learning, growth, creativity, experience. It's like a vacation and a prison sentence all in one.
Wow. Okay. Again, the eruditeness just keeps expanding. Thank you for feeding that into the space, Andrew.
Mhm.
Let's see who else. We got everybody there. I guess so. Did somebody? Am I missing anybody? Oh. Okay, everybody. Okay. Now onto the circle here. Let's.
Jesse,
Yes.
is there any way that I mean, I don't know, I can never hear them. Uh, Generally, I can't hear any of the people that are in with you, aside from you. Maybe not tonight, but going forward, I would love to hear what they have to say.
Well, I changed the settings for audio. So, is that what you're talking about? The audio?
Yeah, it's definitely better. than it was last time. But I still miss some of what the people in the room are saying. Um, but it's okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Maybe just need to project.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody project. So let's begin with Julia. Is that your name, Julia?
Julia, yes.
We'd like
So
to
I've been told.
We'd like to hear you say your own name.
I'm Julia every day, even when I didn't sign up for that.
I didn't sign up for George the Fourth either.
Well,
Maybe
you
I
did
did.
it well.
Thank you.
So what is human? What does it mean to be human? There's, as everybody's touched on, there's definitely so many layers as to what that means. But initially, I was thinking about just to innately be human is to be the human animal, to be the creature. Like we're just an animal living on this planet, same as all the others. But my partner who I was conversing with was saying that, you know, humans aren't the only ones with thought or with like the mind, with the mind. And I don't personally know if that's true because I don't know how other animals think about things or consider the world or relate to each other. I can't really know unless I ask them, and I'm not fluent in many other animal languages, but a couple.
Oh.
But one difference I was thinking
Pig
about.
Latin?
Sorry?
Pig Latin?
No, chicken.
Oh, chicken. Oh, you speak chicken.
Yeah, I asked them a few questions, but yeah. So one of the differences I would say that come up when you're talking about being human as opposed to being a different creature is that we're the only ones who have had certain thoughts. And I think that because there's certain things that only humans have put into action, and humans have a very unique, I'll say unique relationship with the earth. Whether that's good or bad, I think it's both, but like we're the only creature who has that kind of relationship to the earth, whereas the other animals seem to be actually more part of the life cycles, and they're in harmony and they're existing in the ecosystem, and we're the only ones who have the relationship of taking and like altering the earth and
Making computers.
creating things out of materials that didn't exist prior. I would say other animals use what's around them and humans use what's around them, but the human relationship to a world around us is definitely not in balance. So it's unique, the relationship we have to the world and each other, but
We're a problem at the same time.
we're definitely the problem is me. We're definitely the problem.
Well, hopefully we're the solution too, but we won't get into that at the moment. Let's carry on here to...
Hi everyone, I'm Zara, and I think it's about living our life and making this experience and keeping the balance between hard working and having the joy, and we can add some creativity as a spice.
Okay.
Creativity as a spice.
Creativity is a...
Spice.
As a spice.
Creativity as a spice. Nice. Thank you, Sarah.
Is that the mic there?
Yes.
The camera.
This is the mic. Yeah. Just
Okay.
Give it up.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. In Buddhist philosophies, they say humans are in the middle between like the hungry ghosts and the devas, and that humans are very special because we can accumulate all types of karma and resolve karma in very special ways. So being human is that we can tap into the highest in the highs and the lowest in the lows, and we can choose between the two. Whatever that is.
All right. Jeremy, thank you very much.
Okay, so many of them was mentioned, but the first thing that came for me was imperfect, the word imperfect, and I think like and also learning. Everything is imperfect, but for us humans, the way that we live, the way that we learn, everything is not complete, and that makes us human, I think. The pains, the everything, like, okay, we have a goal and we want to do it perfect, but us as humans, we cannot, how can I say, do it as we, maybe it's not a good example, but in general, imperfect, maybe, yeah.
Incomplete?
Incomplete. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mata. The incomplete human. I like it.
Okay, hi, I'm Jonah. So I guess in as simple of an essence as I can think of, to be human means to be alive, but then I guess the question that comes after is, well, what does it mean to be alive? And then also the idea that, well, animals are alive too, but I guess the thing that separates the humans from the animals is the notion that humans have the means and the capacity to affect the overall scope of the planet in a tangible way.
Okay. So the power of the human to affect the planet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonah.
Hello everyone, I'm here. So to me, when I ask the question, what is human, then I ask myself, what is not human? Or comparing us to animals, what's the difference? Animals have animal instincts, and what's the difference? We have, Julia was describing, that I mentioned, the difference between us and animals is that we have minds. I don't believe that animals do have the minds and do have as much potential and capacity to evolve and think and grow, which is the mind part of our humans that has so much potential, infinite potential, and then there are different layers beyond the mind. We have other layers that that has also infinite potential, our connection to the divine, and you can also add to that the whole concept of reincarnation, coming back to life to evolve and learn and grow and keep coming back. I don't know if that's something that happens in the animal world, but I feel like these are just for humans only. We have all these potentials, and we've given this amazing brains, which is the most complex thing that have been discovered to this day, that other species do not have, which gives us all these potentials. So yeah, that's to me.
And apparently you have a very complex brain. There's a lot of thinking going on that you were talking about.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Amir.
Jesse,
Yes.
can I add something?
Yes.
What was the second highlight for me was also the power of choice.
Okay. Power of choice. Thank you for throwing that in.
Ali here. So I think to be human is to be uniquely questioning your being, like why am I and why I'm not, and take action based on this question. I think animals are so busy just to be or being, that they don't have time to ask or to answer this question, to answer why do I exist. I think this is a very uniquely human question to ask, or humane question to ask rather, as far as I know. And I think that the second thing that is very human, and we need to be very aware of it, is that our power is not uniformly distributed, meaning that you can always name individuals in history who affected millions or even billions of people, either positively or negatively. what really, when I was thinking about this concept, it reminded me of this Rumi quote, if I may recite that, which says, تو مگو همه به جنگند و ز صلح من چه آید تو یکی نیی هزاری تو چراغ خود برافروز, which means don't tell anyone or don't find excuses and say everyone is at war with each other. Why should I offer my peace? You are not one, you are 1,000. Turn on your light, because what distinguishes, because even if you have 1,000 dead candles, still lighting up one candle can light up the room. So this unique, disproportionate effect of a single individual, I think is a very human thing. I don't know of any other animal who has this capability.
So two things. The ability to ask, why am I here? And second of all, for one person to have tremendous influence over a large part of the earth or population. Amazing, thank you.
Hello, Stephen here. As I'm reflecting more, so for me, in my experience, to be human is to have free will as this human. So we have sovereignty and we can choose which direction, whether you want to call it good or bad, high or low, we have free will to choose that direction. I think ultimately service to self or service to others. And I would say to be human is to experience, like to live, and living is like, what is a heartbreak? What is feeling pain? What is feeling joy, love, tasting this food, smelling this, smelling that, smelling something terrible, like, and also the ability to explore these other dimensions that exist.
So freedom of will, ability to make choices, and to explore other dimensions. Okay. Thank you, Stephen.
Hi, Lindsay. Learning so much from everybody here. So just a big thank you to everybody for your shares and your insights and your knowledge. And I appreciate you all. And I feel like, we're expanding as we're talking, and I'm just trying to integrate all of that, because my initial interpretations here have just grown so many, tenfold in our conversation today, and just hearing you all. So lots to learn. Maybe that's part of being human too, is that capacity for learning and growth, and that evolutionary component too. Not one of my initial responses, but it's come up and listened to everyone. My initial very strong thought was to love. To be human is to love, and along with that, some of the emotions and the feelings and the complexities, and another side of the coin, something could of where my heart went, and this one was also suffering. Of and hearing people chat too, I'm getting a little cerebral here, but there is crossover there of being alive and being on the planet, and to suffer or to strive and to meet our physical needs. That's something that we share with a lot of other beings that are alive on planet Earth. So maybe there's nuance there, areas for growth, but yeah, to love and to have our shared common humanity of what it means to be community on a smaller or broader scale, and to strive forward of creating something maybe better. We think we can, when we share it with in love, and we think about our past generations or future generations, and we think of the kids that are coming, how can we create something better? And I think that's something that humanity could think about sometimes.
Okay, a lot there, but I love how you brought love into
Yeah.
the space here. That's a potential for
Space.
being human.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay. And sir.
AT, and I would just say freedom of expression.
Nice.
Okay, very good. Thank you, AT. Nice and concise. Great. Well, yeah, we're ready for a break. Thank you all for opening your minds, opening your hearts, digging into yourselves, letting stream of consciousness flow. Hopefully you learned something not only from each other, but from within yourself, and that has been an enriching experience. So yeah, let's take a 10-minute break. We'll come back for more afterwards.
Are you going to give us the answer?
Yeah, afterwards I'll tell you the right answer.
The right answer.
And it will be perfect, and it'll be ugly. All right, help yourself to tea, juices, snacks. So at this point in the evening is when I want to devote a little bit of time to looking at this manuscript that I'm currently working on, Cosmic GPS, Living a Guided Existence. Let me back up for a second, first of all, because those of you in this spiritual boot camp are now on an email list to get a weekly boot. That's an email that gets sent out. And I did send it out last Thursday, and in big red letters at the top of the email said, please reply to this so that I know that you've received it, because it's coming from a different email address than my Lofty Gathering emails, which comes from Jesse at Lofty Offerings. The weekly boot's coming from connect@powerforconsciousliving.com. I got a reply from about half of the people. So put up your hand if you did not get the email that was sent out, because it may have gone into a promotion folder or into your spam. So heads up, there is an email coming from this different email address, and that is your lifeline to what's going on week to week. In that email, it has the link to the Google Doc, and the Google Doc has the home play assignments, it has links to the video that you can review, it has documents that you can download for the readings and so forth. To augment all that, there's also the WhatsApp thread. Is there anybody who has not seen the Spiritual Bootcamp? Well, you're not on it yet because it's your first time here, but anybody who was here last week that didn't see the WhatsApp thread, or there in Ray, you didn't see it? Okay, you're on it. I put you in there. So have you checked WhatsApp over the last week? No? Okay. All right. Well, the WhatsApp thread is an additional thing that is a place where I will also post notifications, the link to the Google Doc, reminders of what the home play is, so we can keep the idea of what we're doing here alive, because it's so easy to come here for the one evening a week and then walk out the door or turn off the Zoom, and it just evaporates until the following week. So if we're going to have power for conscious living, we want to hold in consciousness what we're doing. And not just you alone, but we were doing it together. We were doing this collectively. And that is really, I think, an important thing in this day and time of, podcasts and workshops and online stuff. Here we have something that's live, weekly, where you can be here literally in the loft with other people, other humans, and also connecting through Zoom, which is a great thing to have. So if you can't make it, you don't miss it. Yeah, so pay attention to those emails. Open the email. If you don't, that little MailChimp tells me who doesn't open their emails. So I know if you're not opening your email. But the main thing is that you stay conscious of what we're doing, and you hold the space together and you do the work. There's no point being here and just treating this as like Netflix. You just watch it passively, and that's
Spiritual
it.
tourist.
Yeah, it will actually weaken you in some ways. It's very unhealthy to take in information and not act and integrate it. So on that note, I highly encourage note-taking. And you might have noticed that if you looked at the home play from last week, the very first thing says, review your notes. I don't think anybody took notes here last week, but is that a good read?
That's right.
Okay, Power for Conscious Living. To take notes and then review the notes. And repetition is so important. Repetition, or as I was taught, rhythm replaces force. Rhythm replaces force. So otherwise, the things of value here will get submerged by all the other stuff going on in the world, going on in your lives. So if you really want to make this great and live with greatness, you're going to have to find a way to make it more prominent in your life. So taking notes, doing the readings, doing the practices, and also just, I would say, bring down some of the other stuff in your life as well. Like, this is an 11-week course with a weekend immersion as well. So you might want to pull back on jumping into other classes and other courses at the same time and stay focused on this, because there's quite a bit you can be doing between classes in terms of the practices, in terms of the readings, and just in terms of digesting the material. Very important to digest it and integrate it, otherwise it can be actually counterproductive and unhealthy. So maybe, not jumping on too many other courses and filling your mind with too many other things. I would also pull back a bit on the use of substances, any sort of stimulant, alcohol, psychoactive substances and whatnot, just so there's not too much stimulation and activity going on in your bodies that will make it harder to really hold what you're receiving here. But it also affects others as well, because there's a certain level of intimacy going on here, energetically and spiritually, to be coming together on a regular basis and focusing together, working together, dieting together, circle work together. So consider your neighbors, consider, your fellow circleites. I call you circleites. We're all circleites. Consider how your actions affect each other, and we really want to uphold the integrity and the livingness of this collective organism that we are co-creating here. So it's really, kind of boils down to purity. Purity of mind, purity of action, and so forth, to strive for purity, and that will benefit you, it'll benefit us all. So, having said that, there was there was 2 home play assignments for last week. First one was to do the opening set as much as you could. Just repeat that, incorporate that into your daily sadhana. And the other thing was to read the first chapter of the Cosmic GPS book, and from what I sense that a lot of you were actually able to do that, and because that's going to be, I'm really grateful to be able to do this. You know, this is a class I did in the spring, and I've been writing it up, and Dasha has been helping with the editing, and now to have you guys as kind of testers of how it's going. And so every week, you know, this week is going to be chapter 2, the following week is going to be chapter 3 and 4. I want to get you through all 18 chapters by the end of this course at the middle of December. So at this point in the evening after the break, I want to open up to see, you know, I'm not going to take a long time to go through it, but to just see if there's any feedback. And you may have noticed that if you go into the Google Doc, you can actually make comments. If you're not sure how to do that, I can help you, or Dasha can help you, but you can actually put comments into the Google Doc, which is fine. I can go and read them then. Or you can catch my ear during break or after or at some time, and you know, if you've got some comment you want to give to me verbally, that'll work too. But I really appreciate any kind of feedback that you may have, negative, positive. I like to hear positive things too, like, oh, I like that, that was funny, or whatever. It feels like the content will be of value to you. When you get deeper into it, you'll see there's some rich stuff that I'm putting into that book, and it will work its way into the curriculum of what we're doing here. So, is there anything that I'm not exactly sure how to do this, but is there anything that anybody wants to say about chapter 1, called The Conundrum of the Modern Seeker, where I tried to kind of give a portrait of what it is, you know, that people do these days, and does it actually lead to a guided existence?
You really summed it up well. And I felt so resonant with everything that you had to say in the chapter. And it was hilarious. And it was also just so honest about all of the minutiae. And so I just felt really seen, I guess, by reading that.
Okay, great. Did you say hilarious? You did? Okay. Well, that's good to hear. You know, I try to keep it light. I try to, you know, have personal stuff in there. There'll be some personal things shared throughout the book, but definitely trying to make it readable, because I am dealing with important issues about connection and what, you know, bad things that can happen along the way, as we'll see in chapter 2. Others?
Can I share?
Yes, please.
It was very much describing me, like line by line. There's pretty much everything that you described him as a spiritual tourist, trying all the things. There was not anything in that list that I had not tried. And I still have not known the answer. If anything, I feel like I always thought the answer is in the next book, next podcast, guru, modality, psychedelic, this, that. Every day was something different. The shiny object syndrome. But still haven't found the answer. Clearly something is missing. And I feel like this life is getting so overwhelming, and every day we're being bombarded by so many stimulants and so much information, and clearly the answer is not outside of us, based on my understanding. Because they consume a lot of good information, but still, I feel like to the degree I feel lost. I gathered good information, but I'm not living a guided life.
Goading but not guided.
Yeah.
Goading around.
So looking forward to read the next chapters to see like how can I get back and find those answers from within.
Isn't that just what you said you shouldn't do?
Yeah.
Read the next chapter.
Good catch. Yeah. Well, thank you, Amir. That's great that you felt seen. And you kind of rode through that chapter, and because it crescendos in the end, you know, like you do all this stuff, and you feel like maybe you're living a dream in some ways, but do you feel like you're living the guided dream? And you said no, you still feel, you know, something's missing, that you don't feel guided, you have all this information, but it hasn't, something's missing. Okay, thank you. I was also going to say, you know, because we're getting into a situation here where there's going to be oh, somebody had a hand up there? Who had a hand up?
I think it was you.
Hmm?
I saw the hand up on your.
Oh, okay. We're going to be getting into reading assignments. You know, I go by the, I was taught in my spiritual warrior training. I did a 4-year spiritual warrior training, full-time spiritual warrior training down in the United States in my 20s. Pretty intense. And they always said, leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. You got to read. You know, you can't just lay back and get downloads. I believe in both. You know, obviously I love books. I do a lot of reading. But you do want it to get to the place where you get it from within. You get the downloads from within. Having said that, there's going to be reading assignments here with these books that I showed you, and for some of it's for example, the Cosmic GPS book. It's a digital book. If you would prefer me to give you a handout each week, and this is for people that are not on Zoom but that are here, if you would like a hard copy of it chapter by chapter. I know you said that you would like to.
Kind of old school. I like the hard stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same. So put up your hand if you would like a paper copy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I'll print off. Okay, in color 7. And
I just know if I have it in my hand,
Andrew.
It's like just more accessible than going back to the digital.
No, I get it. Yeah, no, it's fine. So I will print off a batch each week of the reading assignment and have it here for you to take away. And that'll be great. It'll be great if that's going to make it more accessible for you to read it. Then I'm delighted. I don't have any printed off for today, so you'll have to do a new school with the digital version on the Google Doc. There'll be a secondary reading. This week we want to get into Jewel in the Lotus. Yeah, so two readings this week. We're ratcheting it up a little bit. Jewel in the Lotus, this is the Tantric training. Jewel in the Lotus, the Tantric path to higher consciousness. So I have a digital version of the first chapter. So I'm going to read chapter 2 of Cosmic GPS and chapter 1 of Jewel in the Lotus, which will lay a very good foundation. It's a very well-written book, very, I guess I'll say easy to read. It's very readable and lots of good information. So that will be a digital version that will have a link on the Google Doc, which you can download as a PDF, and then you can print it off yourself if you want. So there's the another option, is to print these things off yourself. But I will do what I can to make this as enjoyable and readable for you. All right. So now we move on to the next portion of the evening, which is where I give something of a talk on a theme that moves us forward in our exploration of body, mind, and spirit. And the question tonight, I want to unpack that a bit more. What it is to be human. And we can't really know what to do as a human if we don't know what we be as a human. Right? We can't really know fully what to do unless we know what we be. That's just logical sense. And in our current times, our very scientific times, we're taught in school a particular picture of what a human being is. And I won't go into all of that, you know what it is. And I do address that in a way in the Cosmic GPS book, because it's very impactful what we hold in our minds as to what we are. It can be expanding or it can be limiting. So this is specifically called the Body, Mind, and Spirit Bootcamp, to look at, to start out our look at ourselves from this threefoldness. And this is a bit more Western esoteric picture, as opposed to Eastern esoteric picture, which you get, if you study classic yoga, Vedantic, theology, you could call it, of what the human is. And we'll get into that, and you'll actually get into that somewhat this week as you start to delve into this wonderful manual, Jewel in the Lotus. We'll bring in the Eastern flavor. Although this Jewel in the Lotus, it's well written in the sense that it actually incorporates some of the Western ideas as well. So it sits a bit more in the middle. But yeah, the idea of body, mind, and spirit is really more in the Western esoteric tradition. Speaking of the mind is very much in our mind in the Western paradigm. So let's just start with the most obvious thing, which is the body, right? It's plain and simple. We have a body, we put it to bed every night, get up with it in the morning. But oh yes, I wanted to tell a little joke to insert a little bit of humor from time to time to keep people awake. There was this little boy, he was coming home from Sunday school, church, he'd gone to Sunday school, and came running in the front door, went running past his mother, upstairs, and into his bedroom. So the mother followed him up and saw the boy in the bedroom, and he was looking underneath the bed. She said, "Son, what are you doing? Why are you looking under the bed?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I was just at Sunday school, and they taught us that from dust thou art made, and to dust thou shalt return." And the mother says, that's right, from dust thou art made, and unto dust thou shalt return. He was quoting from the book of Genesis in the Bible. And the mother said, yeah, that's correct, but why are you looking under your bed? And he said, well, it's because there's so much dust under there, I want to see if somebody's coming or somebody's going. Thank you. All right. There's your humor for tonight. You better appreciate it.
I'll be here next Tuesday.
So, what do you say when it comes to the body? What do you say when it comes to the body? Do you say, I am a body? Do you say, I have a body? Or do you say, I am a spirit that's living through a body? Raise your hand if you agree with the first one that says, I am a body. Okay, how about, I have a body? Okay, nobody? Oh, we've got a couple here. Yeah, all right, I have a body. And someone on Zoom. And the third one, I am a spirit that is living through a body. Okay, so in some cases it's the second and the third. Well, this body thing, and I'm gonna start using the great white board. You can always tell the expert who's the expert in the room because it's the person standing in front of the whiteboard. So this thing of the body, as the joke pointed out, that the body has a temporal existence. It's temporary, right? It exists in space for a certain amount of time, and then it's over. And that's going to happen to all of us. So there's this finiteness to the physical body, and finiteness to the space. We have a certain amount of space. Some people are 5'5", some people are 6'2". So it's something that's subject to time and space. And I always have to get a little chuckle when, and maybe you've done it, and maybe I've done it, but, people like to go around saying, oh, time doesn't exist. Well, does it exist? I mean, you all had to show up here at 7 o'clock, right? And you're all going to leave here at 10 o'clock. So, does time exist? In terms of our physical body's existence? Yes. Thank you. Okay, anybody want to disagree? Anybody want to say time doesn't exist? Or say that time is just a human-made construct?
I think it exists, but the way that we measure it isn't human construct.
Thank you. Okay, you're getting into the minutiae of things. And this is really important because if we hold around something of a half-truth, right? Because that's kind of a half-truth. We say time doesn't exist. Because it does exist on this level, but maybe it doesn't exist on another level. We want to be careful about holding thoughts that are half-truths or full lies or distortions. So, yes, time is something that exists on this level of the body. And so does space. But let's look at the opposite pole. Spirit. Okay, so you guys able to see that on the Zoom? Looks like it's
backwards.
Oh, they see it backwards on Zoom?
I think it's
Yeah,
just
that's
backward. I think it's just backward.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's flipped.
I think just for you, but they said
Yeah,
it's
they
good.
said it's good.
Right.
Oh, it's flipped for me, but not for them? Is that what you said?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why.
Mysteries.
Beautiful
mysteries.
It works fine for us. It works.
Right, great. Thank you, Dasha. So we're looking at the opposite pole of the body. So is the spirit subject to time and space?
No.
Insofar that it participates in the body.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're both right.
Yeah.
You know, it's yes and no. No, in that it's the opposite pole that's outside of time and space. But yes, to the degree that it participates in and through the body, it is subject to time and space. And that's interesting in itself. Just that little point we could digest for a whole week. Why would the spirit subject itself to the dimension of time and space? We'll hold that as a question. So, the body, we know, dies. That's indisputable. Does the spirit die? Another. Got a no here.
Death. How are you defining death?
How am I defining death? Good question. If there's anybody there in the Zoom wants to pipe in, go right ahead, because I don't really see the hands I've got.
The spirit, is it like, is it an individuated thing, or is it just like the glob of light that exists in the universe? That would be a question I would ask when asking, like, what do you mean by spirit, if it does or not.
Okay, so what I'm hearing the question is, are we talking about an individual spirit or some like amorphous field? Eh?
Right. Right. Because we're part of a greater whole, right? If one blade of grass dies in the field, does all the grass die?
Lovely. Lovely. So maybe we'll just add to the board here, that being the opposite pole, I'll draw this as two poles. If spirit is the opposite, then we might be able to say that it's timeless or infinite. Something infinite at this end of things. And in terms of space, actually time is eternal and space is infinite. I'll fix this so I'm in the right order. Time, the opposite of finite time would be eternal. And space would be infinite. question regarding the spirit, which we're considering right now. What do you feel? When is the spirit most alive?
But can I ask you to describe what do you mean by the spirit here? What's this difference between the spirit and the soul? For sense.
Let's just keep it simple and general at this point. You know, when do you feel most spiritually alive? When is the spirit most alive? Yes.
When it's in the body. That's what I
Somebody's snickering at you. Mata?
So when both of them are aligned with each other, like when you're aligned.
That's what I meant.
When the spirit and body are aligned? Mm-hmm.
When you are like in deep sleep or in deep meditative states or very high.
Mm-hmm. Deep sleep, deep meditation.
In nature.
Yeah.
In nature.
I would say the deep meditation in the space between the thoughts, like when you are the observer and not defined by your body and mind.
Not defined by your body and mind? Okay. It's alive when you're not defined by your body and mind. Okay, Lindsay?
Sometimes when it feels like you're tuned in to something beyond, maybe you're like channeling, or like you feel like you're some writing or some music or something creative, something art, and you feel like you're bringing beauty, or maybe it's something else to life.
Okay, tuned into something beyond. Yeah, 18.
When the love light is turned on.
The love light is turned on.
Turn on your
Okay.
love light.
Turn your love light on. Turn it on, turn it on. Is it a song like that? I think
There is,
I
a
think
door
you're
song.
plagiarizing a pop song.
Yeah.
And you're forgiven.
I would say probably when you're having like, yes, what I could only describe as like cosmic type experiences, like when you experience like a really good music experience or a psychedelic experience where it almost feels like you're not you're almost forgetting where you are and what's going on in your mind and body because it almost feels like you're connecting with something greater at that point.
Connecting to something greater. Can everybody hear there in Zoom? Is the audio coming through okay?
Yep.
Okay. Dasha, you got something?
Yes, I wanted to say that the spirit is most often alive when it transcends the confines of the body, in terms of, like somebody said, about creative flow or the experience of love. But there is a caveat there that yes, the spirit is most alive when it transcends the confines or the boundaries of the body, but the body is often the vehicle of that transcendental experience, as for example, the experience of love and ecstasy and whatnot.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to cue off of that comment, Dasha, and make the statement that the spirit is most alive when you're dead. The spirit is most alive when you're dead.
How do you know?
When,
But
well,
you
I'm just
know.
making a statement that within this realm, we really are subject to death, the forces of death, which we might conjecture is one of the reasons the spirit comes into this realm, to be subject to the forces of death, whereas here it is really life, spiritual life. And so the spirit is actually most alive when you're dead, which is to say you're not in the body in this dimension. When else, secondarily, another occasion when the spirit might be most alive?
State of pure joy.
Birth.
Creating or expanding.
Death and sex.
Well, how about when you're asleep? That your spirit is most active when you're asleep, based on the concept that when you're asleep, you're actually outside of your body. That sleep is not only a chance for the body to rejuvenate and rest, but sleep is also an opportunity for the spirit to be emancipated from the confines of the physical body and return purely to a spiritual environment as opposed to a physical environment. Just putting it out there as kind of simple logical concept as a basis to build up a picture of what we be so we can know what we can do. So yeah, when we're dead, when we're asleep, and outside the confinement of time and space, and getting this picture correct, or fine-tuned, shall I say, I won't use the word correct, but to fine-tune our perception of things so that we have the best concepts possible rather than half-truths and erroneous, distorted ideas. Why? Well, it brings us to this third thing we're considering here in the middle, which we could call the threshold between the two. The mind. And we'll unpack over time, what is the mind, because there's an Eastern concept of what the mind is, there's the Western scientific concept of what the mind is. But for now, let's just speak in terms of the phenomenon of the mind, how we experience the mind as really something in the middle between its use in living in a physical body to work with mundane things like shopping lists, cleaning your house, budget, and so forth, that the mind is useful for navigating the things of the physical realm of time and space. How it's sometimes a bit of a problem that way is Amir has talked about how his mind is so busy that it makes it hard for you to meditate. So how the mind can be so busy with the things of the body that it's not able to connect to the things of the spirit. Because as something in the middle, it really has this unique position to work in both ways, and in fact to be, shall I say, the middleman between the two. But yes, this is a problem. In yogic philosophy, it's called the chitta. The chitta, referring to the mental fluctuations, the busyness of the mind, the mental stuff that occupies the mind, and as a result obfuscates the things of the spirit. Obfuscates, ob means like towards, and obfuscate means darken. That the mind can actually obfuscate, or to darken and obscure the things of the spirit if it's really focused more on the mundane things of the body. Conversely, I'll write that down. It can work to illuminate. It can work to illuminate the things of the spirit when it gets trained particular ways. So this is where we go in the spiritual boot camp, is to learn how to renew the mind. This is one of the books I'll be referencing, or a couple of books on renewing the mind. How to transform this thing in the middle that actually can go in either direction. I sometimes call it the monkey in the middle, jumping around as a monkey. But it can also be the monk in the middle. And the word monk comes from the same root as mono. Mono means single, right. There was mono and stereo. You know, the old stuff was mono, so you just had one channel, and we had two channels stereo. So the mono, or the monk, is single or solitary. So when we turn the mind from a monkey in the middle to more of a monk in the middle, it has a singular solitary focus that allows it to access things of the spirit and bring it through into the things of the body. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So it can serve our intention and our idea of living with greatness. Obfuscate. Obfuscate. No, that's not the word. It's obfuscate.
Obfuscate.
Obfuscate. O-B-F-U-S.
Can you spell it?
Obfuscate is O-B F-I-S-I-F-I. O-B-F-U.
Obfuscate. O-B-F-U-S-C.
Oh, put it on the board. O-B-F. Oh yeah.
Obfuscate.
Yes. To render obscure, unclear, or unintelligible. That's right.
Yes. It's a good word, and yeah.
It's tricky.
Make a note of it. Write it down. And contemplate that in your mind, with the question, how much does your mind obfuscate spiritual things?
Is that its purpose?
Come again?
Is the purpose of the mind to obfuscate spiritual things?
Jeremy's asking the question, is the purpose of the mind to obfuscate spiritual things? Bring the balance.
Survive. Ooh.
Survive. Is it survive?
I see.
Purpose of the mind is to survive? I think everything you're saying really shows the variegatedness of this mind. Its multifacetedness. Because when you think of it, we live life in a body, but we really experience life in the mind. Right? You live life in the body, but you experience it in the mind. Right? Does that resonate?
Mm-hmm.
Can I add?
Yes,
Can I add
please.
something to this effect about experiencing life in the body? oftentimes we refer to our mind or refer to us, but making us equal to the mind as that we are meaning making machines. But it's not the body that is meaning making machine, it's the mind that is meaning making machine. And this is exactly what you said. We experience life in the mind in the sense that the mind is making the meaning, and then the meaning shapes our experience.